And recording. So a comfortable seat. So for today's practice, your blanket and a block will be your happy accoutrements. But let's just start grounding into this moment. So I'm just sitting in my Sukhasana, taking my hands to my thighs, palms facing down. And then let your eyes close or your gaze soften. Eyes close or gaze soften as we begin to settle in to the practice. When the palms are facing down, this allows for an easy way to literally beginning to ground. So we are feeling anxious, overwhelmed. Start here. From your body to your breath, to your mind. The three outer layers that we have the easiest access to. The physical body, as some refer to as our temple. I think of it more as a ship, a vessel. I must tend to. It allows me to do stuff. It allows me experiences, relationships, a life. So I tend to my temple or vessel so that it will serve me for a long time. And there may be areas that are a little bit more chatty than others. Honor those. Be aware of those. Nurture and support those. But also celebrate the areas that are doing well. So from body to breath. Breath is also our sense organs. Sight, sound, taste, sensations, smell. It's our incoming mail. Drawing to the mind, the chatty mind. Processing, lost in thought, fantasizing, scheming, whatever it may be. Let it take a break as you practice today. A break from judgment, a break from competing, so that you can rest into your heart's space. Just be present for whatever rolls your way. Practicing with ahimsa, non-harming, to take care of yourself in the practice. And enjoy the practice. As you inhale, opening your eyes, draw the gaze up. Let's interlace the fingers. Let's interlace the awkward side. And we'll stretch the palms away and up, lengthening. And we'll stretch to the right and the left. And let's twist. And the other side. And we come back to center. We'll take the legs out in front. And then here, stone cold on the hamstrings. Hinge forward and just notice, when do you meet that stop? When is there no coming further? So from there, we'll start at the toes. So this is a practice that I really enjoy. Let's take the right leg up, and then we'll just begin to rock the leg from side to side. And then let's place the ankle across the left thigh, thread the fingers in between the toes. So left hand, right foot, web to web. And let's do ankle circles. Clockwise, counterclockwise. So the ankle, of course, is not a ball and socket joint. It is a hinge joint. But we got a fair bit of mobility in this joint. And we want that because it is what helps us navigate and keep as much ease above. We begin to stretch the toes back and forth, to draw the toes to the top of the foot and underneath. And let's wring out the foot. Wring it from side to side, like a rag, but a rag that you love. And then squeeze the toes around your fingers. Squeeze, 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 and then squeeze the fingers around the toes. Notice how your gums really hardens doing this, because I think it's fascinating. Everything connects in the body. Relax the toes. And then traction the toes long. Spread the fingers wide and release. This little piggy, so grab a toe and give a little tug in a row. Tug in a row. Each toe gets a little individual attention. And then I take the hands on either side of the foot, squeeze the foot narrow, and then roll back and forth, back and forth. And then let's take our thumbs and go for a little walk on the bottom of our feet, a little fascia walk. Breaking up this thick fascial band that does thin with age. Just notice if there's any areas that are a little tender. You may want to hang out there and just massage gently. We're going to wake up and some more blood circulation too. And then rub, 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 rub. All right. Let's place the right foot on the mat or floor, and then take your thumbs in behind your right knee and massage your way down to the heel. Really get in there, sort of grabbing, pinching, loosening up. Loosening up. Those calves are our spinal support. So if there's not enough around support around the spine, the calves have to help out. And we'll take the hands behind the knee, lean back a little bit. This is like a Dandasana boat pose-ish. We're just going to bend and straighten the leg. Notice as you straighten the knee, the quadricep engages, the kneecap sort of pulls in and up a little bit. And as you bend, it is the hamstring that engages. We're going to play with this relationship today, quadriceps and hamstrings. All right, let's release the leg out. And then now, just fold forward again and notice if something changed in your forward fold, having not touched the hamstrings at all. So I think we should do the other side. So now I'm going to take the left leg in. I'm just going to rock it from side to side. Get a little bit of lubrication around the hip joint. Place the foot across, and again, and turn my ring around here. Thread my fingers in. Web to web. Is one foot easier than the other? Let's do some ankle circles. Clockwise, counterclockwise. And then our little toe off event. Toe off, the ability to bend the toes at a 90 degree in relationship to the foot. And then wring it out. All 26 bones in each foot. We're just looking to get them unstuck, unstick so they can do the job they need to do. Let's squeeze the toes around the fingers. Squeeze, 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 and then squeeze the fingers around the toes. Practicing a hamster still. Relax the toes and then traction, traction, traction up through the toes. Spread the fingers and release. This little biggie, each toe, a little bit extra work. So good work to do regularly. Good work to do regularly. Just check in with your feet. I think of the feet like the old saying, ain't mama happy, ain't nobody happy. And if you suffer from feet thingies, you know that is true. It's hard to enjoy everything if there is some feet troubles. All right, we plow, wake it up, and love you, love you, love you. Let's place the foot on the floor and do the little calf work. So kneading your way down, grabbing, bifurcating. I love using that word. It doesn't come available often in sentences, but have fun bifurcating your calves. And I know my right calf is a little bit more tender than my left. It's also the side where I had the injury, so that makes perfect sense. Something is doing a little bit of overtime. So with taking care of that, take the hand behind and just lean back again and just bend and straighten the leg. Notice again the knee. Does the knee change in definition as you're straightening, bending? So far, so good. Oh, we should do the little forward hinge again. Place your hands at your front hip creases, soft. And it's again leaning forward, staying soft. Once the hip hinges begins to harden, then we ain't going any further. And we can always change this a little bit by just bending the feet up a little bit. That gets a little bit deeper hip hinge, and we'll get the forward fold. So we'll play with that. But let's come into tabletop. Have a blanket if your knees are a little tender and a block nearby. But as we come on to all fours, let's warm up our wrists. I'm just going to go for a walk, turning, fingers out, walking as far as I can. If you find a place that's really interesting, just stay there and work it for a little bit. You can do circles or just shift from side to side. The right way is the way that you find to be of most benefit. I'm going to walk in the other direction. Walking all the way around as far as I can go. And then again here. I'm just doing some circles. Turning, shifting the weight, being kind. Yeah, I'm going to walk back again. And now turn my fingers, my palms up, and have my fingers towards one another. So the further back your hands are, in relation to your knees, the less weight and the gentler is going to be on the wrist. So now, same thing. I'm just going to walk the hands around. Checking in with my wrists today. This is really interesting. It looks kind of odd. I'm going to go the other direction. Notice I have not nearly as much range of movement there. I'm just going to do a little wiggle about here. You may find that you're spending more time on your computer. So tending to your wrists. Ooh, it's important. All right, let's place the palms on the floor. Tuck the toes under. And we're going to stretch back to puppy pose. Puppy pose. Lengthening back. So now with your toes tucked under, we are engaging in the toe off event, the bending of the joint. Just inhale up. Modified plank to downward facing dog. Stretching back. We're going to take our dog for a little walk. First visit with the dog today, maybe. And then take the feet as wide as the mat and just shift and wiggle about. Shift and wiggle about. And keep the hands strong and grounded. Settling into your wide-footed dog. Head hangs, completely relaxed. And we'll take the knees down. Draw the feet towards one another again, so together or almost together as we sit back. Heroes, not heroes pose, thunderbolt pose. This variation, so sitting on the heels, or maybe your hands are further forward to prevent your toes from breaking off. Now let's stretch the ankles out too. So stretch the feet back. Stretching the feet back. And again, taking care of yourself in the practice. And then maybe I'm going to walk my hands back a little bit and lift the knees up. Not everybody's favorite. I'm going to come forward again. Returning to downward facing dog. And then bend the knees deeply. So I'm a little hover dog here. Draw the hands away from the feet. Draw the hands. So the hands are pushing into the floor. And this in turn allows me to lengthen the spine. And then from here, tip the hips towards the sky, tailbone towards the sky, and then straightening the legs to the degree that the hamstrings allow. Let's look up at the in-breath. And we're going to walk and step the feet up to the top of the mat. Lengthening. Take the hands to the shins. Lengthen the crown of the head forward as the shins draws back. Take care to not lock out your knees. Don't lock out the knees. So now the kneecaps are pulling on to your leg and upward, onto the leg and upward. And then we hang down from here. The knees can be slightly bent. Clasp the elbows. And just wiggle, wiggle, waggle. Let gravity be the friend of your neck, your shoulders, your spine. One more breath. Relax the arms. We're just going to walk all the way up. Tadasana, mountain pose. So we've been playing with sun salutation, but a variation, well, you'll recognize it as sun salutations, but focusing a little bit more on stability. So as you stand in mountain pose, grounding down through the heels, lift and spread the toes. Lift and spread the toes. Stretch the toes forward and then let them relax onto the mat. Notice the quality of your quads. So the knees are straight. That means the quads are now doing the work. Strong quads helps the hamstrings relax. Strong hamstrings help the quads relax. Now draw the hands down. Stretch the fingertips towards the floor. Towards the floor as you let the sternum draw up, 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 up. Elongating the spine. Inhale and take the hands to the sky. Lengthening up. Exhale, Utkatasana. Bend the knees. Keep the spine long. Keep the sternum lifted as you sink into the heels, and a sense of sliding or dragging the heels back, and you feel the glutes, and you feel hamstrings firing up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, hands to the shins again. Hands to the shins again. So this takes us into a 90-degree forward fold more so. But you feel as you draw your shins back, right in the heels. Feel the whole back seam really lighting up. That's what we want today. And exhale, let's plant the hands on the mat. And we'll walk back to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Plank pose. Draw the legs together so they are consolidated. Push the floor away with the hands. And if your wrists are not loving it, shift back a little bit so that your shoulders are a little bit behind the wrists. Draw the shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the hands. Lifting heart, lifting hands. Take the hands, plant them on the mat. Inhale, cobra pose. Cobra pose. Keep the legs engaged and active. We exhale back to puppy, 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 puppy. Stretching back. And then inhale, modified plank to downward facing dog. Looking up on the in-breath. And exhale again, meander. Find your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, bend the knees, and we're back in the Utkatasana stance. Heels dragging back, toes wiggly. So not digging into the mat but wiggly. Now we can take the arms up. Take the arms up. And we come all the way up. Back to Tadasana, mountain pose. We should do that again. We'll add a little bit of lunge event so we can get into the hip flexors, which may be tight from a lot of sitting. As you inhale, sternum, lift, heels ground. Next in-breath, tall mountain. Exhale again, Utkatasana. Utkatasana. To the forward fold. Hands to the shins, inhale, half forward fold. And exhale. We step the right leg back. Take the knee down. I'm gonna walk my hands up to the left knee. Hands to the left knee. So the proposal lunge that we're practicing today, a little shorter. My right hip over my right knee. Now draw the abdomen up, lengthen the tailbone down. You get this nice little event on the front of your right hip. Inhaling, let's take the arms to the sky or keep them on the hips. Reaching up, reaching up. Lengthen the sideways. Lengthen the back body. And we'll take the hands down. We're going to step the right foot up to the left in the forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to the shins again. And then we're going to step left leg back. We are back in the proposal lunge on the other side. Take the hands up to the knee. Center your left hip over the left knee. Draw the tailbone down. Draw the tailbone down. Whew. That's a nice place to hang out, isn't it? The anti-sit pose. Having the arms. Creating lifts, creating length from the sides, the back, and the front just has to follow. And let's exhale, take the hands down, and we draw back to downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank pose. Consolidate the legs. Pause and breathe. So the hands are pressing down, the shoulders are protracted, pushing upward. Pull the feet towards the hands, hands towards the feet. Put that little something extra in the middle. And exhale, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Looking up on the in-breath. Let's take the right foot up between the hands. Let's walk the hands to the right knee. So now the left hip flexor is getting a little bit more TLC. Now bend the left knee, dropping it towards the floor. That allows us to draw the tailbone down, and then press back through the heel, keeping the tailbone down. We can add the arms again. A little bit more lift. Breathing. And let's take the hands down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Deeply calming pose for the nervous system. Deeply calming. Puppy does the same thing. Child's pose the same thing. It's a place of refuge. Calming inward. Looking up. And let's take the left foot up between the hands. It's okay to help it along. High lunge. Walking the hands to the knee. And then bend again, sort of a hovering proposal. Draw the tailbone down, lift the front of the hip. And then press the heel back. Press the heel back. And maybe take the arms up. Maybe take the arms up. Steady breath. Steady pose. Steady breath. Steady pose. When we take the hands down, and we step back again. Downward facing dog. Inhaling forward to plank pose. And take the knees down. Wide knee child's pose. Let the breath settle you down. Let the back body expand. On your in-breath. And let everything soften towards the floor as you breathe out. Now we're going to inhale. Back up into tabletop. So for a little bit of fun, let's work a little bit more on the back seam. So we're going to lower all the way down again onto the belly. Take one hand on top of the other. Sort of a little bit of a Sphinx crocodile pose. So now as you just relax completely and you stay here, notice where your body pulls. Notice that your low back may be getting congested as there's a little bit of a lift in the hips. So now draw the hips down, draw the hips down, really anchor so that your pelvis is now tailbone towards the heels. And notice as you do so, can you bring your arms up? Is there lightness in the arms? Take the arms back down and relax. Relaxing. Lower the head, forehead onto the arms. And again, draw hips to the floor. So really spike the hips down. And then let's lift the legs. Lift the legs. Lift the legs. Lower the legs down. Rest. Everything cools. I will do that again. Lifting the legs, but press the hips down first. Then lift the legs. Lift the head, lift the arms. And let's take the hands by the side chest. And then inhale, feet down, heart up. Upward facing dog. to downward facing dog. Pause. And we'll take the knees down. Take the knees down. Now let's take a block and place it across the back. And this is just our little checker inner. So the block should stay on the sacrum, pretty level. So awareness of the block as we take the right leg back. Right leg back, block is there. I'm gonna bend the right knee and then lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. So all those hip openers that we did, the extensions here. Now push the heel towards the sky, pushing up, pulsing, lifting. You feel the glutes are really firing. Just stay aware of the block. Let's hold it, hold it, hold it. Hands releasing down. And let's take the left leg back. Bend the knee here and lift the knee. Lift the knee. To about a 90-degree angle in your left leg at the knee. And we're going to pulse up again. Pulsing up again. Keep awareness on the block. Pulse. 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 And just hold that last one up, 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 up. And releasing down. Let's take the block off so we can do a cat and cow. Rounding as you exhale. Arch and in breath. Now from neutral, take the block, put it back on again. I really like this block thing. And now we're going to add a little bit more balance event to it. So we're going to start again with the right leg going back. Right leg going back. Lift the leg up, bend the knee again. Pull the heel towards the tush. Pull the heel towards the tush. Now take your left arm, forearm right under the ribs, and then lift the ribs away from the forearm as you pull the heel towards the tush. Pull the heel towards the tush. So a lot of stuff going on. Now straighten the leg out. Take your left arm forward. Left arm forward. And we let everything come down. I'll just take a little breath here. And then I think we are good for the other side. Let's take the left leg back, bend the knee, pull the heel towards the tush. Heel towards the tush. Right arm under the ribs. Give yourself a little rib hug. Pull the heel in, pull the heel in. Take the arm out, slowly straighten the leg, straightening the leg. And release down. Take the block off again so it doesn't hit you in the head as we lift up to downward facing dog. Now notice, how are the hamstrings feeling? So bend and straighten the knees. Bend and straighten the knees. As the legs bend, the hamstrings are firing. As the straighten, the quadricep, the front, are helping out to release and lengthen the hamstrings. Walk the hands and feet towards one another. Take the hands again to the shins, half forward fold. Crown of the head lengthens away from the hips. Bend the knees and sweep the arms out and out. Tadasana. Natarashana, the king dancer pose. You might like to have a chair, a wall for this pose, if your balance is interesting, put it that way. I will showcase from the side. So from Tadasana, I'm going to bend my right knee, catch the ankle. You can absolutely use a strap here as your arm extended, in which case I do recommend that you use a wall for balance. Now bend your left leg and then draw the tailbone towards the floor. And then straighten again, gently pulling the knee back. We'll take the left arm to the sky as we draw the right heel in. Draw the right heel in. Now take the left hand to the hip of the chair, and then you're going to pull the right heel in, contracting the back of the knee as you take the right hand to the hip, to the hip, to the hip. Breathing, holding. Keep drawing the tailbone towards the floor, and release. Shaking that one out. I know, right? Let's do the other side. Tadasana. Now the weight is on the right leg, and I'm going to catch my left ankle. Bend the right knee, and maybe draw my left heel back a wee bit. This allows me to get the tailbone down. I straighten my right leg and the right hand to the sky. So now keep your left ankle very active, very active. I'll take the right hand back to the hip and now squeeze the back of my left thigh behind the knee, holding the leg up, holding the leg up. Holding, breathing. It's a little intense. I know, a little intense. And then slowly release, shake it out. I know, we have earned to come onto our backs. So without further fuss, let's come onto the back. You want to block nearby. And just hug the knees in. This is like our child's pose on our back. Placing the feet on the mat. Walk the feet in as close as you can. And then we'll place a block between the thighs. So the block can be skinny or wide. Either is fine. It's whatever is most comfortable for you. So I don't like the block on bone. Heels in. And now walk your shoulders under a wee bit. So you can turn the palms up. Shoulders turned under, opening, palms facing up. So as you draw the shoulders towards the mat, holding that action as you now turn the palms back onto the mat. So this nifty little feature that we can have the palms up or down without changing the relationship of the elbow to the shoulder. Wouldn't that be cool if we could do that with our feet? Just flip them about like flippers. We could just turn and walk backwards, I guess. I would be walking on the tops of our feet. That would be awkward. Anywho, let's carry on. Lift and spread the toes. Big toe mount, little toe mount, in and out of heel. Squeeze the block and inhale. Lift the hips. And lower down. Lifting again. Lowering down. This is going to be our keeper. Lifting up. Shoulders draws together. And now squeeze the block, and then lift the right foot. Lift the right foot. Breathing, lifting. And bring it down. Whew. We're going to lift again. And now left foot. Lift, left knee straightens. Lifting, breathing. And we take it down. Lifting up again. And slowly lower all the way down. Let's take the block out. And then take the legs to the sky. And shake them out. Shake them out. That's a lot of them today. But no more than we should. Let's bring the feet down again. This time for Vipriti Karni. Let's take the block under the sacrum. Under the sacrum. So this can be, you can stack 2 blocks. If you have foam blocks. If you have cork blocks, you might be able to and comfortable taking up to a higher level. I'm going to roll the shoulders under again. But I'm going to let my palms just face up. So this may be as far as I wish to go today. Supported bridge pose. To go to the Vipriti Karni, and draw the knees in and straighten the legs to the sky. Vipriti Karni directly translates to active pose. So it is our little shoulder stand, but without straining the neck. Keeping the heels drawing up, and we're going to separate the legs out. Reaching out through the big toe mount, inner heels, and then keep that length as you draw the legs back together. Now for tighter hamstrings, just bend your knees. Allow your knees to bend. You're still getting the benefit of the gravity reversal. It is lymph draining down to the main stations. It is oxygen, or more oxygen to the brain. Digestive system gets a little gravity reversal massage. And now endocrine system. Adrenal glands, kidneys, and thyroid and thymus gland. And getting a total tune-up just from holding this pose. And then on the next exhalation, we're going to bend the knees. Place the feet on the floor. And then here, squeeze and release. So pressing the feet into the floor. And then relax. Do that again. Inhale, press the feet into the floor. I meant to say squeeze the buns. Squeeze, consolidate the hips. And we relax again. One more time. Let's lift off. Move the block out of the way. And just place it to the side. Crossing the right leg over the left. Crossing the right leg over the left. We'll take the arms out to the sides. Now scoot the hips a tad to the right. A tad to the right. And then we lower to the left. Turn and look over your right shoulder and hand, if it's available. Soften into the breath. And then as you inhale, let's begin the journey back up. Switch the cross. Scoot the hips to the left as you now lower down to the right. And you can use your block or your blanket if it feels like it's too much. So always, always take care of yourself in the practice. Breathing into your whole left side. And then we're going to draw back up to center. Coming back to neutral. You're going to hug the knees in again. Hugging the knees in again. And as you invite the knees in, also draw the head up, squeezing in a tight little ball. Tight, tight, tight. And then we relax to Shavasana. So here, supporting what wants supported, maybe a blanket under your head, maybe under your knees. I like a blanket across my lower abdomen. A blanket or a block really helps ground. And then once you come to rest on your back, scan your body again. Tending to what needs tending to. Directing the breath to that area. Like a loving hug Gently begin to deepen your breath. And then place your right hand on your heart center, and then your left hand on your right. Often we place the left hand first, as it is the hand closest to the heart, and the right hand is the giving hand, the outreach. But sometimes the right hand gets tired. The giving side needs to be loved too. The heart energy Ramdas's teacher, told Ramdas when he was really struggling. He said, love everybody and be truthful. Love everybody and be truthful. Which is only possible if we love ourselves unconditionally. Because only then can you love everybody else unconditionally. So open up to your own love. Be your love. Be an expression of your true self. And relax your arms. Bend up the knees. Roll over onto the right or the left side. Just use our arms and hands. We'll press up into a comfortable seated posture. Let's bring our palms together. When we judge, when we find right or wrong, fear, it is because we have lost the connection inward. Verse 1-3, when the mind chatter stops, the fear, the attraction, the aversion, the voice of the ego, then we can be who we truly are. What Ramdas's teacher said, from where we can love everybody and we can be truthful. So simple, so hard. That's why we practice. Namaste. I will turn off and say hello to everybody.